Hi again. I wanted to explain something about an issue that I personally think about, the so-called shear factor that everyone worries about with an FRP. If you take a regular piece of, call this concrete, it's a piece of foam, say this is a piece of concrete, and normally they'll have, rebars placed inside of it, and they're depending on the ductility of that steel rebar to handle all the structural forces that are taken upon by this concrete. But what they're not getting is that by the time that rebar takes those structural forces, the concrete itself has to withstand that amount of tension and compression. And a normal piece of concrete, when you bend it just a bit enough, will snap in half, just like that. And then that rebar is left in there, and it's going to bend over in steel, for instance, or in an FRP, they may say it just snaps in half. But the point is, that concrete has been compromised, it's broken. So to get over that, adding fibers into your concrete, in particular these little macro bars that are like toothpick sized. These are basalt bars that are in a resin. This is a vinyl ester, but they are epoxies or urethane versions of this. That when you put them into this concrete, when it comes under that compression, holds it together like millions of little band-aids in essence, and stopping it and increasing the ductility of the concrete itself. So now when you've got your rebar in there, the concrete is becoming ductile, not just handling it all in the rebar. So the real solution is to have like a combination of mesh rebars and mini bars, or these little macro bars, all in layers of this concrete. And the concrete becomes ductile. So even if you have to have steel, if there's still a shear factor deep in the core of that concrete, but you're surrounding it with basalt and mini bars and meshes, you've now attained the ultimate goal. Because if your basalt is up near close to the surface, you're not going to see all that spalling and popping of the rebar that we see under just about every highway and bridge. The steel can still be, if needed, deep in the core, but many times you won't need it at all when you put these macro bars in with the meshes and an FRP or BFRP like basalt into that mixture. So the engineers are not understanding, in my opinion, that the ductility of the concrete itself is where the solution needs to be, combining it with an FRP, BFRP.